one of them that I remember, one of the very first ones I remember was him helping me build a fort in our hayloft. And he helped me build a wonderful fort. I was maybe, I don't know, middle school, whatever that is, 10, 12. And I have the neatest fort in the neighborhood. And he'd go ride with me. He really, I think, liked the horses. He didn't like getting sore, but he did like the horses. And I was trying to think what else we've done together, but I guess the most important thing we did together was he introduced me to my husband. He let me sneak into bars underage with him. And I kind of followed along and scoped out the boys while all his friends, while I was sneaking in. And we just had a lot of good times doing that. Sometimes I got asked to leave, but most important, I think, was, like I said, he introduced me to George, and he was in our wedding. He just was a wonderful person, and he was always there when I needed to talk to somebody, and I'm really gonna miss that. So, thank you.
No, if nobody else could go, I'm gonna go twice.
You're a good show, Mom.
That's part of the Callahan thing, I guess, thank you.
That's a fact.
You know, Gary was, like you said, he's a good big brother, and when I was a little kid, when we were little kids, one time I was smaller than him, and he used to wrestle me around and pick on me, and he, one time we got to going around, and he was trying to get the best of me, and it was an accident, but you know what, I bumped him, and he wound up with a bloody nose, and after that, he didn't wrestle me anymore. And then, when we were real little, I think I was probably in, no, I was in, he might be in a diaper soon again, but anyway. Like I said, my dad wasn't around, but my brother was, my big brother, and the fellow that lived across the street from us kind of kept an eye on us kids, I think, because he knew that my mom had us all there by herself. And anyway, he come up one time and he was going to take, he offered to take Gary fishing. And it hurt my feelings. He goes, you know what, I want to go fishing too. And my first fishing trip was with Gary and the man next door, but I hadn't gotten invited. And I went out in the yard and I found a stick. And I tied a string on it and went in the house, and I had little brothers and diaper pins around. And so I had tied a diaper pin on the end of that string, and they was across the street getting ready to go fishing. And I went over and I said, can I go fishing too? And so he agreed to that, and I took my fishing pole back home and used one of his. But the first fishing trip was with my big brother, and we went to Gladbrook Lake and caught bluegills. Thank you.
Yeah, I worked with Gary for quite a while. He worked for the Haslett Company, and we used to room together quite a few times, as a matter of fact. And lots of times he would snore like crazy. I mean, he snored like a chainsaw. So one night, what I hit the sleep button, and the alarm would go off just temporarily, and it shut him up just long enough so I tried to go to sleep. And he stopped snoring, and then he got up, and he went to the bathroom. All of a sudden, I heard the shower come on.
Oh,
And then he got out, and then they started making us coffee. And I go, "Hey, Gary, is that coffee still gonna be good in the morning?" He goes, "What? What time is it?" He goes, I said, "Well, it's 10:30. He goes, right off the bat, you heard this. And I used to breathe through his nose. And another time I stayed with him there in Plentywood, which was a real fun trip. And him and I were rooming together in a house there in Plentywood. And every day when we got off work, he'd take off his watch and he'd put it on the counter right there. And what I'd do, I'd set it up an hour. Get up in the morning, put on his watch, goes, "I don't know what's the matter with this watch." So I kept on doing this for about a month. And then he said, "Well, I heard about people that had all this electricity in their body and it really messed up the watches." And I said, "Yeah, I heard that too." And that next time, I set it back. That really messed him up. And he says, "I'll tell you what, Ron, I'll sell you this watch." And I said, "Oh, here, I've been setting your watch." And you know, we went fishing with Gary. Gary was one of those people you had to give a bad time to, but somebody actually put bullet holes on his silhouette deer, and that was a good one. I mean, he had some silhouette deer out in his driveway of his place. He told me about that. That was a good one because he was all miffed because somebody shot his deer out there in the driveway. Yeah, we had some good times. I mean, we went fishing together quite a bit and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. So I decided to just run those memories back to you guys.
Wow.
good.
Thank you. Yes. Give us these.
No one else has anything they want to say, we can just go back to mingling. So, does anyone else have a story?
How about Larry? Larry, do you not have any good old hunting stories with you and Gary and the chainsaw coming up and getting you in the face? Which one got it? You and Larry. I know one of you got it right here on the face.
You're right there.
So, I'm Mickey Parker, and Angie's my cousin, Carrie was my uncle. And my mom and dad split up when I was about 4. And I didn't get to see this part of my family very often growing up. My dad always made sure that when he would visit with us, that we got to see everybody. And one of the highlights of me getting to visit my cousin is I got to hang out with my cousin, or my Uncle Gary. Because he always was so sweet to me. And do you remember me? Of course I do. Well, I haven't seen you in 2 years, and you've gotten so big, and it just always made me feel so special. Because I never got an opportunity to hang out with everybody. And it was like once every other year, or once every 3 years, but he always came up and gave me the sweetest hug and told me really nice things and was excited to see me, and that always made me feel welcome and happy. And when he and my aunt got divorced, I didn't know that I was gonna see him that often again, and I really didn't, because my family kind of split up and did their own thing. But when my mom's family started passing away, and I would call Uncle Gary and say, "Hey, you know what, I'm gonna be up there for my grandpa's funeral," or "My grandmother died," or "I had another relative pass away," he would actually make a special trip to come over to spend time with me, because I lived 7 hours away. And we'd come over and we might have a little meal, or we'd go have lunch, or we would have just an hour together where he would just check in and make sure that I'm still okay, even though we didn't see each other that often. And that always just made me feel really special. And, this is strange, you probably know this. My Uncle Gary watched the weather a lot, or at least I assume he did, because any function that happened in where I live by Portland, Oregon, or Vancouver, or Battleground, he'd call me. Did you know there's a tornado coming? It's right outside by your house. I saw it in Battleground, Washington. How are you guys doing? I saw you have a snowstorm. Is everybody okay? And I just thought that was so interesting because things are different when you're living right there. But he'd be watching the news and always wondering what everybody else was happening where they were. How are you doing? Are you faring okay? That's a pretty big storm. That's a tornado, which is not common. But for me, it was a very tiny thing, but he was legitimately worried about my family. And it's just always been that way. He's just always shown me a lot of love. And I'm gonna miss him a lot. I'm sorry, sweetie.
It's okay.
I'm gonna get you, Brad.
You know, Greg, you're really happy to see all you people show up to see him and, you know, remember him. And I'm gonna miss him because, I kind of depended on him for a lot of stuff, so. You know, I believe that he sees this, you know? And, yep, that's what I got to say, thanks.
Thank you, Red. Thank you. Red, we love you. We love you. I'm telling you, you just did.
Chainsaw.
Thank you everyone for your stories today. It's been wonderful reminiscing and hearing all these great stories. We have the venue till 1:30, I believe, so please feel free to stay. There's still some food left. Talk amongst yourself, and as well as there's displays that are out, so take pictures, you know, look at all the great stuff that we were able to find going through his various sheds. So yeah, enjoy yourselves. And we'll be around for a little bit longer, so Angie and I will be here, so thank you for coming. We all really appreciate all the love and support. It makes getting through these times a lot easier having such great family around. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.